Hi witches. So today's video is going to be a little bit more serious and a little bit more heartfelt, I'd like to think. I wanted to share a part of myself that I don't really talk about too much like online, but I am doing some really deep shadow work these days. I'm doing, a lot of like self-reflection and stuff like that, so I wanted to like share a little bit of that. I'm not sure if this is really going to help anybody, but I don't know, to get a maybe get a better perspective on like how shadow work can be performed, or like what people are, what I'm working on personally. I don't know if it'll help, but here's an example, I guess. I'm not sure. It feels like really cleansing and raw to like put this out on the internet anyways, so yeah. So basically, like, what I've been doing recently is like confronting this like block with like struggling with like imposter syndrome. Like, I just am like really like caught up in a lot of that. Like, I look at myself and I look at all these other amazing like artists and creators and witches and people around me, and I'm just like absolutely convinced I'm a fraud, as if like I'm just a fraud, right? I also like have this whole thing about like this weird sense of like mediocrity about myself. I'm like, I'm not even really that cool. Like, I'm very mediocre, I feel like, in a lot of my things. Like, there's always something that I want to improve about everything in my life, and I'm just like, right? Like, it's like little stuff. It's like the fact that I'm not like a full-time artist right now, like, just making thousands of dollars immediately out of college, which is stupid. Like, doesn't really make any sense, right? I like still haven't memorized all the tarot cards and stuff, so sometimes I have to like double check a guide, which is, again, not the end of the world, but to me I'm just like, oh man, I should just know all of this immediately. I still have reference books of correspondences that I have to use, which is, again, super normal because like I don't have a photographic memory. Like, that's just it. And like it comes down to stuff like I'm still learning stuff about my deities, and sometimes I feel like all of the work that I did, like, yeah, I can say like I've been a witch for 10 years, but for most of that time I was a literal child and was not exactly, maybe researching the best or as good as I wish I had. I don't really know. It's like a whole thing. So like I've been really struggling, right, with this like belief that I'm like not enough, I guess, to the point that I like can't accept when people like legitimately like stuff. So like when I had organized that thing for Letha, like I was really convinced just like no one was gonna show up, that everyone who was like, yeah, we'll be there, like I'm really excited, like they were just like joking and like they weren't actually gonna be there. Like, I was really, really convinced that I was just gonna be sitting there alone, like, okay, I guess I'm just a joke. But yeah, I always have this like feeling that I should be like further along in my career and that I'm lagging behind people and that I should be like more successful and blah 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 blah. Like, it's ludicrous considering everything, and that I'm 23 and like I feel like this is normal, and also that the pandemic happened and everything's been a little bit screwy. But basically, like, the way I'm working with my deities through it is that like the Morrigan is helping me kind of like fight to like stand up for myself and really like speak my truth, which I think is something she's always helped me with. It was more protective like when I was growing up, but now she's kind of just like, yes, we did all of this work, now just go do the thing like that we have been preparing for. Hern is helping me be more like spontaneous and like kind of come out of my shell a little bit, be a little bit more extroverted than I normally am, I guess, because I tend to be extroverted in situations and like where I'm comfortable. Like, if I'm comfortable around people. In new situations, I'm usually just like, but organizing events and stuff is kind of like forcing me out of my comfort zone, but like in a good way. Like, I've made a lot of friends already within like a couple weeks, and it's been really exciting. So yes, being spontaneous, that's something that Hern is helping me with. Bast is helping me like to take care of myself and rest when I need to. It's very much that like motherly energy that I really like appreciate about her. So she's been helping me with that. I've been working with her a lot on that because I'm the kind of person who tends to like push myself to burnout and then just quit and then like hate myself for it. So we're like working on that together. And then Anubis, again, is kind of just helping me like not take the mortal coil so seriously, and like just reminding me that like I still have like at least 30 years ahead of me. So that I can take my time and enjoy this kind of stuff, like this whole thing. So yeah, gosh, this is such a heavy video, I'm really sorry, but yeah, shadow work is really informing like what I want to work on in the waxing phase of this moon cycle. So I hope that if you're doing shadow work, you take that into consideration, and remember to balance it out with some self-care shortly thereafter. So I will see you guys later, and we'll have a much more uplifting video tomorrow, I promise.